This video is all about what I call stupid human trick number 2. Basically, stupid human tricks are ideas and behaviors where we think we're being so smart, so clever, but they're actually really stupid ideas that are ruining our lives. They're keeping us poor, keeping us sick, keeping us alone, and generally causing us to suffer and hate our lives. I am Brent Phillips. I am the founder and creator of the Awakening Dynamic System of Energy Healing and Higher Consciousness. And we're here with this video, which is number 2 in a series of 8, on what I call stupid human tricks. Now, in case you missed the first video, I want to be clear, I'm not calling people stupid, I'm calling the trick stupid. Fair enough? So these are stupid tricks that people play where we think we're being so smart and so clever, but they're actually terrible ideas. So let's get into it. What is stupid human trick number 2? It's this: thinking that if you have more money, your life will be just like it is now, except you'll have a lot fewer problems because you have more money. Now, Brent's perspective on this is as follows. Wrong. Why do I say this? Well, first, from my own experience. At different times in my life, I have had a lot of money and had almost none. I've been, on paper, a multimillionaire. I've also been bankrupt and on the verge of homelessness. So I've experienced a lot of different points on that spectrum. And I call this out, and the reason I call it a stupid human trick is because if you're trying to manifest something that isn't actually real or true, you're going to have a heck of a time with it. Now, we got a whole video on that concept a little later in the series, but I want to focus on this one specific piece right now. And again, if you think that if you have more money, your life will be just like it is now, but it'll just be better because you can solve some of your problems with money, that isn't real. And that alone can hold you back. So let me dig into this a little bit more. I want to lay this out step by step in plain language that I hope everyone can understand. So, first principle I want to offer here is this. What is the common denominator of everything in your life? In other words, what's the common factor between your childhood, your adulthood, your job, your marriage, your bank account, how you brush your teeth, how you drive your car, etc.? So I encourage everyone, leave comments, leave questions. I aim to personally answer every question on all my videos across my YouTube channel. So what do you think is the single common factor of everything in your life? Well, I'll tell you, it's you. That's the common factor. Now, how does this matter? In video number 1 in this series, I talked a little about what we call the subconscious financial thermostat. I'm not going to cover all of it again here. If you want to check it out, go find video number 1. I think it's a cool video, right? I'm a little biased because I made it, but it's cool. But here's the concept. We all have a setting inside of our subconscious mind for every area of our life. How much money you make, how happy you are, how many friends you have, how much free time you have, your health, your mood, all these things. And so what happens is, if we take you and put you in different situations, you're still the same you, aren't you? Of course you are, right? And so here's the flaw with thinking that, oh, if I just have more money, my life will be just like it is now, but I'll have more money, right? Less problems. It's this, that I have found that when you are poor, when you're really struggling, you tend to have a small number of big problems, most of which can be solved with money. So as an example, if you're struggling to make your rent, that's a big deal. Because if you can't make your rent, you could get evicted. And if you get evicted, you might not be able to keep your job. You might not be able to keep your kids. There's all sorts of terrible things that can happen. That is a big deal. And I've been there. I've been in the place where I really thought I might get evicted from my home because I couldn't make my rent. It's terrifying. And it sucks that people have to live that way. It totally sucks. But here's what happens. If you get more money, that problem is solved, right? But I have found the more money you have, it doesn't get rid of your problems. It goes something like this. If you're poor, you'll tend to have a relatively small number of big problems. I can't make my rent. I can't afford to fix my car. Can't afford to get my kids into the school they want. Things like that, right? If you're middle class, you'll have a larger number of problems, but they tend to be smaller. And the wealthier you are, you'll tend to have more problems, but they will be smaller problems. And so mathematically, roughly, you could say the number of problems you have multiplied by the size of them is about the same. Why? It's wired into you. It's in your subconscious financial thermostat. This is why I'm saying, if you think that having more money will be just like your life now, but it's just better because you have more money and solve problems, that's really not how it works. Let me give an example out of my life. That when I was younger, certainly when I was an undergrad at MIT, I was in what's called Course 6.3, and Course 6 is Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, generally considered the most difficult, most competitive major. And it was brutally difficult. I had to micromanage my time. I slept 6 hours a day during the term. And my junior year, which was the worst, I literally had to schedule 1 hour of fun time on Friday night and 1 hour of fun on Saturday, and that's it. The whole rest of the week, every minute, was studying, going to class, preparing for tests, things like that, right? And so I got a lot of time scarcity trauma. That got even worse when I had my startups in the 90s, because I was the chief technical officer, founding partner, and project leader, and primary coder for not one, but 2 internet startups, a website design company and a video game developer. And I was working literally 100 hours a week. It was nuts. No weekends, no holidays, no vacations. All I did was work, eat, sleep, take a shower, back to work. And so I got massive time scarcity. And here's what's crazy. Fast forward a bunch of years. My life is completely destroyed. I'm in horrible chronic pain. I can't work. I'm on total disability. In fact, you're not even allowed to work. If you work and make money on total disability, you can be put in prison. It is a crime. And here's what's nuts. When I was on total disability, I still had no time. It was nuts. Because for one thing, I was running around getting treatment, all this conventional treatment, alternative treatment, all this stuff, right? Plus, I was busting my butt trying to restart my game studio. Now, I want to be clear, I was not being paid for this. I was doing it hoping that the company would be successful. And so even when I was on total disability, I still had no free time. Why? It was me. I was doing that. I didn't know it at the time. I saw it years later. And this is what I want you to understand. Your life is created by you. It's not so much about your job or your wife or your investments or your cat or your neighbors. You are at the source of all of that. And if you change your life by giving more money, that's cool. I love money. I want you to make more money too. That's freaking awesome, right? But it won't change you. It won't make you happier. It won't solve all your problems. It will just change their nature. And what you'll find is, if you have a lot more money, it's a great ride at first. I've had times where I was broke and money come in. It feels wonderful, but it's short-lived. It's what's called psychological inflation. It's not a bad thing, but it's kind of like falling in love. Anyone fall in love with a teenager and be crazy head over heels and just want to be around that person all the time? I have, right? That can happen later in life too. Happens most often as a teenager, right? When we're young and full of hormones. And you think, oh, if I can just be with this person, everything will be great. So you date, you get married, you have a couple kids, and then pretty soon that person doesn't make you happy all the time. It's nothing personal, people. That in love feeling is a trick that nature plays on us to get us to reproduce. It's not a bad thing. In fact, I'd say it's a great thing. Why? We're here. Without that, humans would have died off a long time ago. So it's a great thing. Same thing with alcohol or drugs. Sure, you can have a few beers, catch a nice buzz, maybe smoke a joint, whatever your thing is, right? Does it make you happy or relax for the rest of your life? No. It's a temporary effect. And just like a drug, if you use more money to give yourself a high, you're going to need more and more and more. And usually after about 6 months to a year, you're right back to where you were before. And again, I've experienced this. I've gone from broke to millionaire to broke to, oh God, I'm going to be homeless and die in the street broke, to middle class and all around. And when you go down, it sucks, but you adapt to it. When you go up, it's awesome, but you adapt to it. And so if you think this is cool stuff, if you want to see more videos like this, if you enjoy my style, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell, and please share with your friends. The more YouTube shows the videos, the more I can make. I can hire more editors. They'll be higher quality. I would love to do more of this. So if you like it, let them know. If you want to learn more about me or go deeper into this work, learn how to clear the subconscious and really make shifts there, I got some cool links in the description, including my Unleash Your Inner Millionaire program. I think you'll love it. Or not, we'll see, right? Make your own decision. I think it's awesome stuff. All right, so back to it. One of the big lessons that I want everyone to take away is that no matter how much money you have or don't have, you're still you. And if you don't change you, nothing's going to change much over the long run. So let me give you an example of this principle in action. Some of the research I've seen shows that somewhere between 60, maybe as high as 70, 80% of former professional football players in the NFL, the top level American Football League in the world, tend to go broke and even go bankrupt within 5 years of retirement. Why is that? Well, it's not that they're bad people. You have to be incredibly dedicated, talented, driven to even make it to the NFL. And did you know that the minimum rookie salary for a player in the NFL is over $500,000 a year? So even if you only play 2 years, you make $1 million, usually in your 20s. You should be set for life, right? Most of them lose the money, and it's not their fault. It's not because they're stupid. It's really not. Anyone that knows American football knows to play in the NFL, you got to have a brain on you. It's an extremely complex game. If you're just big and dumb, you're not going to get very far. Nothing personal, but that's how it works. So these men are not dumb. What happens is, though, many of them are from poor backgrounds. They come from the inner city. They come from a poor rural area. And so they have a low setting on their financial thermostat just from the environment they grow up in. And again, it's not your fault. If you grow up in a poor neighborhood with poor parents, you're more likely to be poor. Just like if you grow up in China, you're more likely to speak Chinese, right? If you grow up in England, you're likely to speak English. If you grow up in Russia, you're likely to speak Russian. It's no judgment or value of you as a person. It's just the way it works. And so if you take a kid from the inner city, from a poor rural area, and suddenly hand him $1 million when he's 22 years old, guess what tends to happen? He'll tend to lose it. So this is why I say, don't focus so much on manipulating the outside. A little bit's good, right? Of course you should try to get a better job. Of course you should manage your investments. Of course you should have a budget and track how you spend your money and all these things. Yes, yes, yes. Just understand that that alone won't do the trick because you're manipulating the delivery vehicle. That's what video number 1 was about, right? Check it out if you missed it. We got to get to the source. The source is you. And if you can make changes in you, it's inevitable there will be positive downstream effects. If you can increase your consciousness around money, you will make more money. It may not be tomorrow or next week or next month, but steadily over the rest of your life, it will make a huge difference. Because this is what I've found. Most people that are very wealthy didn't just get lucky and strike it rich overnight. Of course, there's some people that won money in a lottery or got a gigantic inheritance from their secret uncle, right? Those things happen, but they're very rare. Most people get wealthy from lots of small actions that compound over time. So small changes compounded over time deliver big results. So if you can make some small changes in you, those will compound over time. Be a little more present, a little more on time, a little more thorough, all these things. And a huge part of that is clearing the subconscious. A lot of this is subconscious. And if you only stick to the conscious mind, it doesn't work very well. If you've done The Secret, the law of attraction, you probably know the success rate is tiny. It's less than 1%. Why? It can't get into the subconscious. But if you can do the truly spiritual work, shift the subconscious, clear your traumas, shift your attitudes, even discover awakening, whatever your path is, those small changes you make in you will create a better life for you consistently. So can you reduce the number of and amount of problems in your life? Yes, but it can't happen with money alone. Again, more money just turns small numbers of big problems into large numbers of small problems. That being said, I'll take the wealthy people problems almost any day of the week. Thank you. I've been in both. I would absolutely rather have more smaller problems that come with having more money. But realize the only way to really move the needle is to change you. If you like me and my style, check out the links in the description. I'd love to work with you. If not, please find the teacher, guide, coach process that really does resonate with you and focus on changing you. That's going to deliver far better results at the end of the day than skipping your Starbucks and your avocado toast. So I hope you thought this was cool. Leave me questions and comments. I would love to get back to you. And check the links below if you want to learn more about my offers and programs and how we might work together. This is the end of video number 2 in our series on stupid human tricks, and we got 6 more cool videos coming. So until I see you next time, please take care and namaste.